Valley Club, there are over 300 characters right now in Marvel Strike Force. Which are the best characters to upgrade? Well, in this video, I'm going to count down the best plug-and-play characters that you use on multiple teams, multiple game modes. And joining me is my brother Updog. And if you're ready for this list, brother Updog, let him know what to do.
Let's go smash it.
And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin and this is Updog. And in this video, we are talking about the best plug-and-play characters in Marvel Strike Force. We each did a list. You revealed your list on your channel, and I'm revealing my list to you on this channel. So make sure when you're done with this video, you go and check out Updog's video and come back, leave a comment, let me know why my list is better. But before we get to this list, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content, at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week. We got countdown videos like this, news videos, question and answer videos, everything to help your experience in Marvel Strike Force. But are you ready to count this list down with me, brother Updog?
Yes, let's go.
All right. So there may be some overlapping characters. I do know your list, and there may be some characters that are not overlap. So what I do with my random characters, I put a verse tag on them because we don't really use this verse battles anymore for PvE. Yeah. So I got all my random characters in this verse tag, and you can see there's some random characters here that will be great in other game modes. Now, we didn't choose any of these mythic characters because if you look at these mythic characters, best characters in a game, I think it'd be really, really easy just to choose these characters. So we're going to go back. We're going to take off that mythic tag, and we are going to choose the verse tag. And we're going to talk about the first character that I want to talk about, and that is Aries. All right. Aries. So this is in no particular order. This is probably is number 10 on the list, but Aries, I think he's great in a lot of game modes, not just in war. Obviously, he's a great war character, but on spawn, well, enemies cannot spawn with safeguard. I think that is why he makes this list. A lot of these characters, they're going to have plug and play value because of one line in their passive, in my opinion, or one line in their ultimate or special. That one line in his passive, I think, makes Aries valuable, not just in war, not just in Crucible, but in other game modes as well. Even in the early days of the Orcus raids, Mystic section, Aries was a part of that solution. What do you think of this pick for Aries?
Yeah, I definitely considered him for my list. He's got that no spawn on, or no safeguard on spawn is just huge, and he's got the new stats. So for now, he's going to be great with surviving a lot more attacks and everything. He's got that ability block on his ult that ability blocks everybody he hits, and he's got a stun. So yeah, he's a great plug and play character for sure.
Yeah, awesome in war, good in other game modes. But it's more about that passive than that removing safeguard. All right. So Aries, and why did he not make your list?
I just felt like just because of his since he'll be usable in all modes with just because of his passive, I thought some of my other characters would have been was better. He's definitely honorable mention in the top 10 for me, but gotcha. Yeah, some of those other characters. Although if I hadn't have done Ultimus, spoiler alert, go check out my video, then he might have been the top. He might have been number 10. Away
all the spoilers up, dog, just to let you know. All right, so yeah, I thought he was good, and a lot of my picks were because of one thing that make him usable in a bunch of things. And for Aries, it was because of that no spawn on safeguard. Next character, let's get some speed in there. This character is super old. She even has a new version of her that's coming in the game because she's so old. Emma Frost, she makes the list for me because of this right here. Apply negative 10% speed to all enemies. This affects her base stats. This affects the entire battle. So even if she dies, this is still there. I still use her. I still used her this morning, Cosmic Crucible. When is the last time that you used Emma Frost?
Oh, I don't know. Yesterday, maybe. She's still super relevant. I haven't done my Crucible yet today, but yeah, she's still super relevant, and yeah, she's just a great character still. So.
I agree with you. That speed, it helps getting in front of a lot of teams, and any kind of mirror match, she will help you win. In the latest team, let's say Annihilators, let's say you had a full Annihilators team, you wanted to get in front of them. Well, you take out one of the members of the Annihilators, go in with Emma, replace that slot, negative 10 for all their Annihilators. You don't have that, so you're going in front of that. No coin flips. She, even with a new version of Emma Frost, I think she's still going to have value because of that line in her passive. Do you think a year, 2 years from now, you're still going to be using Emma Frost?
I think so, yeah. I mean, there's a few characters out there that are kind of have like an anti-Emma mechanic to them, but it's still
you just don't bring Emma in, right?
So.
On those numbers.
Yeah, you just don't bring Emma in on that one. But
yeah,
I think
offense.
Use her on offense. Yeah, she'll still be relevant, I think, 2 years down the line for sure.
All right. I agree with you. That's why I picked her. Let's go to one more character that I picked, and that is Zemo. Now, is Zemo a great character? The answer is no. But Zemo is so fast that he's going to give you what you need. You're going to get an early turn. You're probably not going to be removing all the positive effects now because he just doesn't have the stats for that. But he's going to give you an early hit. And you're going to be able to do this ultimate early and potentially, if he has enough focus, getting that ability block off. If not, usually you're getting a crit hit, and that affects Cabal. So mainly his plug-and-play value is with Cabal, but he had plug-and-play value in other teams as well. Cabal is just the latest. I think in future teams, getting that very, very early hit, potential crits, potential ability block, Zemo's still going to be relevant. What do you think of Zemo, and when was the last time you used him?
I don't know, maybe like within the last week I used him with Cabal, but I don't know. Maybe some of my options on my list might be a little bit better than Zemo, but I hope he gets a rework with the Thunderbolts team. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. I just gotta say about Zemo, he doesn't have a mythic tag, so that already rises him above one of your characters.
True. Yep.
All right. True. So let me get out of this. I do want to mention a couple honorable mentions. I almost wanted to mention Cable. I wanted to mention the Echo. Two things I did do. Cable also affects speed bar with his passive. Echo prevents assist with her passive. So those almost made the list for me. And like I said, just one specific line in characters tech either in their kit will make them viable for me in other game modes. But let's go to a character that you talked about. It is this guy, Black Knight. One of the best pre-con tanks in the game, counterattacks all over the place. When he's exhausted, he is nothing, but when he's not exhausted, those charges are horrible, putting all those effects on. What do you think of Black Knight? How effective is he right now? He's almost a year old, maybe not a year old, maybe about 8 months old, 8 to 9 months old. What do you think of Black Knight right now?
He's still like a hard to do a one shot against him because of the charges. When he loses the charges, he gets that extra turn meter. So then he gets more charges right back once he does his I think it's his special is his opening ability. So it's hard to keep him down unless you exhaust him. So he's definitely worth having on your team as a plug and play.
Yeah, and a lot of these plug-and-play characters are a little bit more for offense. I find I'm using Black Knight more as a plug-and-play defensive character in Crucible War. Same for you, or is it out of time back to an offensive team for you?
There's a couple weeks like towards the end of the last like War buff season that I use them on offense, but mostly it's defense in Crucible and War. So yeah. Gotcha.
Pretty much the same for me. All right, moving on. Again, these are in no particular order, and luckily, this next character is right next to this guy, and this is Kang. Now, like Emma Frost, like Cable, he has a line in his passive on offense, fill speed bar by 5% for self and all allies. This is why I think this character is going to be relevant for a long, long time. Very, very good character on his release. Still a good character now. Still has a lot of relevant damage now, even after that stat increase that we've had with the Annihilators and the Illuminati and everything like that. Kang still has a lot of damage and is still a relevant character. And a lot of times I'm using a Master of Evil, but a lot of times I'm pairing with Cabal, pairing with other characters, and using that speed boost from his passive. Plus, he has the Kang Bang, the ultimate that just kills everybody. What are your thoughts on Kang? Where are you using him? Are there other places outside Master of Evil that you're using him personally?
Yeah, so like now that it's not Annihilators, it's Infestation. Infestation doesn't have their buffs in War anymore. We can kind of go back to that Kang Weaver counter against them, so that kind of frees up some of your other attack teams for War. So that's where I use him in War. Crucible obviously gets used every single match, and I think he's going to be relevant for the next couple of years just because of his speed bar gain on spawn. And yeah, if you pair him with Cabal too, yeah, he gets that extra 50% damage, and he's feeling like a stat boosted character again. So
I'm glad you reminded me about that counter, because with that Spider Society counter or the Spider-Verse counters, it didn't work. Wasn't using it for so long. I love that counter. I'm gonna that team is going back to my save squads. I'm glad you reminded me. I forgot about that totally.
I know. It was so long. It was so long we had those buffs, so yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, to get rid of those pesky infestations out there. I might use it right after we're done recording this. All right. Next character that I want to talk about is in this section as well, and I think is the best non-mythic character in the game. No debate, in my opinion. Old Man Logan, my goodness, what does this guy not do? Gets turn meter when he's hit. He gets claws out, hits all enemies. He has a big stun on the special. Lots of damage, hard to kill. He gives a revive to himself. He gives a revive to Dakin if you have the Waken ability there. I don't know where not to use this guy. Maybe not in Arena, but everywhere else. I'm using him in Raids, using him in Cosmic Crucible, using him in the War, not just on Mercs for Money, other teams as well. I think there's no better definition of plug and play than Old Man Logan right now. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Old Man Logan?
Yeah, definitely agree. If you're only using him in War, you are completely missing out on a lot of fun in the game, because he is just amazing, and he can't. If you knock down the rest of his team and just leave him there, that's even more dangerous, because he's getting more turn meter and more turns, and yeah. So you got to have a plan for him if you're going against him, and you're pretty much safe if you have him on your side, because he'll just run the whole team into the ground.
Yeah, and I do want to mention, I know we're talking play characters. If you do the 3-piece with Deadpool and Pandapool, they don't die with him on the field. I mean, they can, but usually they don't. Usually Deadpool's coming right back to life, because Deadpool and Old Man Logan are there. Pandapool's coming back to life, and it's just an endless cycle for your enemies. Such a good character, and even better if you pair him with those other two. And Dakin is in there as well, because the Old Man Logan revives a Dakin. So Mercs for Money are awesome, but yeah, Old Man Logan, #1 character. We did this out of order. This is the best plug and play character in the game right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
not even close. All right, let's talk about another character that you may have had on your list. And I think this is the best pre-taunt tank in the game right now. A little bit of a debate. Sasquatch is pretty good. Man-Thing is okay, but actually, does Man-Thing taunt and stun?
He does, yes.
Okay, he's okay. Gladiator, I think, is a lot better though. So I think he's the best pre-taunt tank, better than Sasquatch, better than Man-Thing. Very, very annoying to get around. Lots of barriers, safeguard the taunt. And then if you have other Annihilators allies, he's even worse, because you can't gain any speed bar. What are your thoughts on Gladiator? Best pre-taunt tank in the game right now, or is there a case for Sasquatch or Man-Thing or I can't even think Sticky? I don't know. Anybody else?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to be Gladiator. Is going to be the best one. He's got the safeguard and immunity on spawn and taunt, so you have a hard time getting around that unless you use like an APOC or an Aries or something. But so then that just kind of limits your options for the rest of your team, and then the not allowing vulnerables, and he's just crazy. He does all sorts of stuff that's great as a pre-taunt tank. He's super thick and everything. So
it's exactly what you want in the pre-taunt tank, right? It's a perfect pre-taunt tank.
Yeah,
even better with some Annihilators, but yeah, he's really, really great. All right, let's move on to the next character, and I gotta search for this character a little bit. Not sure where this character is. Not built up as some of the other characters. Where is this character? Oh, there she is, Spider Weaver. And again, older character, still using her in War, still using her in the Dark Dimensions, and obviously there are Cosmic Crucible teams still using Weaver. Not usually paired with 2099, not always with 2099 though, but this is another character, older character, user this morning. When was the last time you used Weaver, and is it always with Noir and 2099, or do you pair her off in other teams as well?
I'd say like 95% of the time I'll keep her with at least 2099. I haven't used the 3-piece tangled web for so long, but what?
They broke up. Well, they broke up Noir, right? Noir's totally on a different team, so it's sort of been a 2-piece for a little while.
Right, yeah. So yeah, most of the time I'll use the 2-piece, and I used her last Crucible round, so round 2, so like yesterday or whatever. And yeah, she's still good. But my question to you is, if she's in your top 10, why is she not gear 19, Valley?
I ran out of Mystic Gear. I wish I had more Mystic Gear. I was going to get my raid characters because where I build characters is always arena first, then raids. We had a lot of Mystic characters in the raids. The Night Stalkers took up a lot of the Mystic Gear. So after I was done with that, she is one of the next characters that I'm going to be building up. But raid teams get more important before plug and play fun characters for me. And I do think she's a great plug and play character. But yeah, not as high as a raid character that's on an actual team that I'm using.
True, yeah. And she's good against Odin. She's a good Odin counter because when Odin does his little counterattack thing, his little swipe with his laser sword, he will miss. He will miss because if she has charges, he will miss those attacks. So she's definitely a good counter against
that.
Odin.
Happened to me this morning. Right? They had a Weaver on defense and it had charges, and I kept missing and missing. Like, what is going on? Like, yeah, there's a Weaver there. Damn it.
Yep.
Yeah, she reduces the accuracy with her charges. So if you don't have an unavoidable attack, or if the charges are there, then it's gonna be painful to deal with. And she has a stun and good synergy in those game modes. So yeah, I think she's a great plug and play character. Moving on, let's move up the list a little bit. Let's see if I can find this next character. There he is, Void Knight. And the reason I like Void Knight is because of his ultimate. Pull enemies 2 spaces towards the primary target, attacking the primary target, flipping 3 positive effects, and you have an ability block to the primary target. In the raids, it's even better. So in the current raid room in Crucible, it's even better. But yeah, just that pull and the early ability block, I think, is what makes Void Knight the best character of the Hive Mind team. Yeah. And it's gonna have a lot of value even after the Hive Mind is out of the raids. Even when the Hive Mind after the Orcus raids, they get phased out. Void Knight, I think, is still going to have some value because of that ultimate that he has. Yep. What are your thoughts on Void Knight, and how often are you using him outside of the Hive Mind team?
Oh, outside of the Hive Mind team? Well, I do have a defense in Crucible in the raid room with him, but it's with some other characters. It's not with the Hive Mind.
He's a good plug and play character.
Yep, because he puts that ability block on everybody in the raid room, so it's really and he goes super fast, so you like get ability blocked early and then you're like stuck, right? So and then he also counters. He's a good counter for Black Knight as well, so when you see those nasty Black Knights, he just does his thing and locks Black Knight down. So yeah, he's definitely going to have a lot of long-term use because of the grouping and the ability block.
And he's the first fan voted character, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes,
it's the very first one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Symbiote Silver Surfer was his name in the vote, and he came in as Void Knight. So yeah, very, very good character. Lots of value. I think he's going to have value down the road as well, even after Hive Mind is phased out, just because of the way his kit is structured. And last but not least, another raid character that I think is great, and that is Nightcrawler. Before the Annihilators, this guy used to be in the arena meta. This guy was so good. Not there anymore, but still part of the raids, and I'm using him on defense in Cosmic Crucible, using him on defense in War, but if I'm using him in other game modes like Dark Dimension or something, does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
What do you think of Nightcrawler as the pick for best plug and play characters? He does a lot, but does he get enough use for you in other game modes outside of Extreme X-Men to be on this list for you?
I mean, I had him on my list, but I think just because of all the things that he does with the exposed mechanic, he boosts speed bar, not only on X-Men, but the highest damage characters. And that ult being unavoidable and putting slow out there, clearing all positive effects, that's just super, super helpful if you have him on your side. Super annoying if he's going against you or whatever. So
I hate facing enemy Nightcrawlers. Especially if I screw up and let him get that ultimate off. Ooh, that is so that is nasty. And I do appreciate you bringing up the exposed, because that is very, very important. Endgame Thanos makes use of that. Val makes use of that. We got another character, Super Skrull, that applies that. Mephisto can use some exposed as well. So we're getting more and more characters with that exposed. I think it's going to be more important, and especially with characters like with passive like Endgame Thanos, having just a character that can apply expose, I think is going to have some long-term value, especially with the limited amount of characters that could actually apply expose in the battle.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
All right. So that is my list, Updog. Thoughts on the list, and why was it better than yours?
I don't know. Some of those, although Emma and like Cable and Echo, they're definitely good plug and play characters. I don't know. I think some of my characters were a little bit better.
All right, so obviously I think mine's is better. You think yours is better, which is why we made these choices. You guys decide. Go watch this video and then come back and let me know which list you like better. The links for his video and his channel are gonna be down below. Any other final thoughts with this list, brother Updog?
Just kind of, if you don't have some of these characters built, just kind of think about what's going to happen in the future and what their kits do, and will they be kind of future proof. I know we kind of try to shy away from that term nowadays, right, Valley? But they do. It's better investment if they are going to have longer use.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that future proof. We think characters are gonna be future proof forever, and then there's a brand new mechanic that we didn't even think of back in the day. So yeah. Future proof is relative. I'm thinking these characters there definitely give you value for the next 6 months or so. Even some of these older characters, I'm still using them after they're out of the meta. Hopefully you did get some value from this video though, and if you did, leave the video a like. It is free for you, helps out the ValleyFlyin channel. And if you want to check out what is the biggest mistake I made in Dark Dimension 8 in unlocking Odin, and how not to make that mistake, give yourself a few more weeks getting Odin a little quicker, check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Are you ready for a fist bump, brother Updog?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hog fist bump, ValleyFlyin, Updog out. Have a great one, guys.